After watching this video, you'll know what requirements document is and how can you make it. Chapter 1. Contents. A requirements document in the IT industry typically includes several key components. 1. Introduction. Provides an overview of the project, its objectives, and the purpose of the requirements document. 2. Scope. Defines the boundaries and extent of the project, including what is included and excluded from the scope. 3. Stakeholder identification. Identifies the individuals or groups with a vested interest in the project and their roles and responsibilities. 4. Functional requirements. Describes the specific functionalities and features that the system must have to meet user needs and achieve its objectives. Functional requirements are typically documented using techniques such as use cases, user stories, or functional specifications. 5. Non-functional requirements. Specifies the qualities or characteristics that the system should possess, such as performance, reliability, usability, security, and scalability. Non-functional requirements are often categorized and documented separately from functional requirements. 6. Constraints. Constraints are limitations or restrictions that impact the design, development, or implementation of the system. These can include factors such as budgetary constraints, time constraints, technological limitations, regulatory requirements, or dependencies on external systems or resources. Documenting constraints helps stakeholders understand the boundaries within which the project must operate and inform decision-making during planning and implementation. 7. Assumptions. Assumptions are statements or conditions that are presumed to be true but have not been verified or validated. They are made based on available information or expert judgment and can influence project planning, design, and implementation. Documenting assumptions helps clarify the basis for decision-making and identifies areas where further investigation or validation may be needed. 8. Dependencies. Dependencies refer to relationships or connections between different components, tasks, or activities within the project. These can include dependencies on external systems, dependencies between project phases or tasks, or dependencies between project teams or stakeholders. Understanding dependencies is essential for coordinating efforts, managing risks, and ensuring that project activities are sequenced appropriately to avoid delays or conflicts. 9. Acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria are conditions or criteria that must be met for the project deliverables to be accepted by stakeholders. They define the standards or expectations that the system must meet to be considered successful and usable. Acceptance criteria are typically derived from the requirements and serve as a basis for testing and validation activities. They help ensure that the system meets user needs, functions as intended, and fulfills its objectives before deployment. 10. Traceability matrix. Provides a mapping between requirements and other project artifacts, such as design documents, test cases, and code, to ensure that all requirements are addressed throughout the project lifecycle. 11. Sign-off. Indicates that stakeholders have reviewed and approved the requirements document, signaling their agreement with the project scope, objectives, and specifications. These components help ensure that the requirements document comprehensively captures the needs, expectations, and constraints of stakeholders, guiding the development and implementation of the IT project effectively. Chapter 2. When do you need it? Requirements documents are needed at the beginning of a project, during the planning and initiation phases. They serve as a foundational document that outlines the objectives, scope, and specifications of the project, guiding the development process from inception to completion. Here are specific situations when requirements documents are essential. 1. Project initiation. Requirements documents are crucial for defining the scope, objectives, and deliverables of the project. They help stakeholders align on project goals and establish a shared understanding of what needs to be achieved. 2. Stakeholder communication. Requirements documents serve as a communication tool between project stakeholders, including clients, users, developers, testers, and project managers. They ensure that everyone involved in the project understands the project's requirements and expectations. 3. Scope management. Requirements documents help manage project scope by clearly defining what is included and excluded from the project. They establish boundaries and prevent scope creep, which occurs when additional features or functionalities are added without proper evaluation. 4. Design and development. Requirements documents provide a blueprint for design and development activities. They guide architects, designers, and developers in creating solutions that meet stakeholder needs and align with project requirements. 5. Testing and validation. Requirements documents are essential for testing and validation activities. They serve as a basis for creating test cases, scenarios, and acceptance criteria to ensure that the final product meets specified requirements and user expectations. 6. Change management. Requirements documents help manage changes to project requirements by providing a baseline for evaluating proposed changes. They enable stakeholders to assess the impact of changes on project scope, timeline, and budget and make informed decisions about prioritization and resource allocation. In summary, requirements documents are needed at the outset of a project to define project objectives, scope, and specifications. They serve as a foundational document throughout the project lifecycle, guiding communication, scope management, design, development, testing, and change management activities. Chapter 3. Example. Here's an example of a simplified requirements document for a hypothetical project. 1. Project name. Online bookstore website. 2. Objective. Develop a user-friendly online bookstore website to allow customers to browse, search, and purchase books online. 3. Stakeholders. Project sponsor, project manager, developers, testers, users. 4. Scope. The online bookstore website will include the following features. A. User registration and authentication. B. Browse and search functionality for books. C. Book details page with descriptions, reviews, and ratings. D. Shopping cart functionality for adding and removing items. E. Checkout process for purchasing books. F. User account management for viewing order history and updating profile. 5. Functional requirements. A. User registration and authentication. Users must be able to create an account by providing their name, email address, and password. Users must be able to log into their account using their email address and password. Users must be able to reset their password if forgotten. B. Browse and search functionality. Users must be able to browse books by category, e.g., fiction, non-fiction. Users must be able to search for books by title, author, or keyword. Search results must display book thumbnails, titles, authors, and prices. C. Book details page. Each book must have a details page displaying its description, author, price, availability, and reviews. Users must be able to add the book to their shopping cart from the details page. D. Shopping cart functionality. Users must be able to view their shopping cart and see a list of items added. Users must be able to remove items from their shopping cart. E. Checkout process. Users must be able to proceed to checkout from their shopping cart. Users must be able to enter shipping and billing information during checkout. Users must receive an order confirmation email after completing the checkout process. F. User account management. Users must be able to view their order history and track the status of their orders. Users must be able to update their profile information, including their name, email address, and password. 6. Non-functional requirements. Performance. The website must load within 3 seconds on average. The website must be able to handle 100 concurrent users without significant degradation in performance. A. Security. User passwords must be stored securely using encryption. User sessions must be protected against session hijacking and cross-site scripting (XSS) attacks. B. Usability. The website must have a responsive design that works well on desktop and mobile devices. Navigation must be intuitive, with clear labels and easy access to main features. C. Assumptions. The website will be developed using modern web technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Payment processing will be handled using a third-party payment gateway, e.g., PayPal, Stripe. D. Constraints. The project budget is limited to $50,000. The project timeline is 6 months from initiation to launch. 7. Sign off. I acknowledge that I have reviewed and approved the requirements outlined in this document. Signature. Date. This example provides a structured overview of the project's objectives, scope, stakeholders, functional and non-functional requirements, assumptions, and constraints. It serves as a reference document for all parties involved in the project and guides the development process from planning to implementation. Thanks for watching. In this channel, we introduce a variety of knowledge mainly related to technology. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a good day ahead.